Okay, starting the parks, PROST board for, Wednesday, May 8th at 6:06 PM. First and last names for roll call, Laurel and Bockelman,
John Evans. Robert Sossman.
Jesse Roper. And we have joining with us
Rebecca Daly.
as our trustee liaison,
Okay, yeah,
right? You're the
yes,
liaison.
that's me.
Yes. Great. Do we have any, oh, missing, we have to talk about absent?
Yeah.
Is,
Jordan Jones. Teresa Wakefield
Aaron.
and Aaron McCall.
McConnell. Yeah. Do we have any public comment on non-agenda items? Did you know if anybody's coming? We counting on anybody?
Is there one
Right.
public? Oh.
No, sir?
Any comments?
No comment.
Did everybody have a chance to review the minutes from March and April?
Yes.
Any edits or changes?
My name, but it's fine. It happens every time.
I sent out the revised one and it should be changed in the
Okay.
revised one for the April 10th one
Okay.
and the March 20th.
It looks like somebody started typing my name and they just went to the keyboard and was like, oh, that's good enough. It's like.
Oh, I do see it. I do see it. It's good.
Yep,
It's good.
and we can't go back. Aaron is joining us on Zoom. Aaron, can you hear us?
I sure can. I'm here.
Thanks for joining us.
Okay,
Sorry,
so-
approve. Motion's good.
Good.
To approve minutes.
Make a motion to approve the minutes for March 20th and April 10th.
I will second that.
all in favor? No opposed? Okay, great. So diving right in, action items.
Okay, so over the last, I'd say few months, we've been involved in a project called Our Lands, Our Future. And it's a Larimer County project, based on open spaces and just trying to get, an understanding for what the general public wants, is seeing and is observing kind of where the future is of northern Colorado landscape on open spaces and land, and a lot of it's on trails. For our part, there were surveys put out, but we are very small in the population list. Larimer County, Fort Collins, Loveland had a map. Majority of the people that was sent out to is all based on percentage and population. But I set up I put on here the final project overview. It's again a very large document. I won't give you homework to read all of that because a lot of it doesn't necessarily directly apply to us. For what I've been trying to do with this group and my involvement and our involvement is more based on what we're looking for in the future, based on what everybody else is experiencing currently in their communities. We don't have a lot of open spaces. We don't have trail connectivity, so we don't have any overpopulations, too many motorbikes on there, e-bikes on the trails, no trailheads that are getting too clogged and not enough restrooms. None of those issues that come up in other communities or in the county are really expressed in our community, but it's great for us to see. And this piece, because it's so recent, if we move forward with our master plan, will be an amazing resource for us to just if we pick a contractor to say, look at this is what our surrounding communities are doing, as well as taking information and making sure that we align with that for our future goals, to make sure that we aren't overcrowding as we get population coming in on our trails. As we do connect to communities, making that a priority to get people coming in, to get more business downtown with just passive movement, as well as finding key locations for open spaces, working with Larimer County, working with Fort Collins, because they've got places that are further north than we have here in town, that they actually own all the way up to Wyoming. So being able to meet and find partnerships there is like really the main reason, but those are all the main reasons that we're involved in it. And it's been fantastic to just learn from groups that are very focused on open spaces and trails. So if you want to scroll down, I think the biggest things for us just to think about and look at, we don't have to dive in very deeply to this, but I would say if you do have one piece of homework is just go through, I think it's on page after the X, just the first few sections, just about what other communities, like the main findings of the study are, and making sure, there you go, the executive summary, the high level of familiarity, like communities around us know their spaces. They know what trails they like, they know what locations they want to go to, they know what the rules are, all that kind of stuff. And we, I don't want to read this through, but there's high level of satisfaction. So we want to look at this study and bring that high level of satisfaction that these other communities have been doing for years and years and years, and model that when we go and do our master plan and say, we want to replicate, we want to bring high level of satisfaction. So when they come from, potentially, hopefully, all the way from Greeley on a trail, all the way up here, if that's the goal, or wherever the Pooter would connect to come up here, that they see the same high level of satisfaction. So we want to mock that with the master plan in that portion of the master plan, the parks or the trails and open spaces. Really cool stuff, great people, good connections. Something that isn't necessarily connected to this study, but connected to the people of this study. Cody Bird set up a meeting with myself, Larimer County, City of Fort Collins, natural areas. I believe it was about 3 weeks ago, to really dive into our southern connectivity and growth, and then northern through unincorporated or into Larimer County, and then into Fort Collins, potentially up with Soapstone, and just the ideas around that. And they've already got some pretty good understanding of combining with CSU over at RDEC, and using the Box Elder Creek on the backside to get that being a potential trail that would connect all the way. So there is some talk about what, the connectivity is in play. Talk of the connectivity is potentially in place, but then us using this to be able to say, like, here's our portion. Once you get onto our land, this is what everybody else has said. Let's make it similar, and let's budget for the quality that's going on around us to keep that similar for communities. And they actually came, was a group of about 6 of them came up and met up here. And we had a good 2-hour chat just about, Cody went over comprehensive plan and the goals about connecting our trail through town. And they were all about understanding that so that they can grasp what we're trying to do and match it to this and their current strategies. Fort Collins, I believe they're going through an open space master plan. So they're going to reach out to us with that kind of information when that goes through, so that we can all stay combined as we grow together.
That's great.
Yeah, really, it's a lot of information, but a lot of cool stuff that hopefully next few years, master plan wise, we'll actually be able to implement. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything to discuss on that? Any topics, ideas? Anything that comes up too, because Cody's very heavily involved in the development and planning and stuff like that, with not just the downtown and all the things going around for the houses. He's very much in line with trying to get RDEC to allow that space and move forward. And all the properties that we're trying to hopefully acquire to allow us to have easements to be able to put trails on. So as we generate ideas and questions when we drive around town, just hit that email box. I sent that email out. When you have questions, I think we'll have Cody on maybe next month.
Okay.
If we find that it's going to be too much, then July is fine too. He's willing to come anytime, but just make sure we have those questions ready, because there'll be a lot to discuss, and there's hopefully some progress in that too.
Yeah, if you can identify some potential open space, that'd be great.
And the trails have been a high priority for this board for a long time. the connectivity, not only in town, but it has been mentioned about with Fort Collins and further on. I think it's a good move to look at where we can get trails put in. Just the access, there's a huge biking community in northern Colorado. I mean, it would really bring people into town and get people to get biking to Fort Collins.
Yep.
There's just a lot of possibilities. Like you said, if you can get all the way up to Soapstone, that'd be amazing.
Yeah. And that idea might be like a phased thing, trying to do all that at once. It might be getting into town, getting across town, then getting into town from the south. And then, hey, now that they're here, it's like, what if we go another 18, 20 miles, whatever Soapstone is from here?
Yeah.
Like, can we do that in the future? That might be like the long-term plan, right? The 10-year, 15-year, whatever that looks like, unless things progress. But just to have those goals and visions is super exciting.
Yeah. Cool. Memorial project.
I'll be honest, haven't done like a ton of the little action items on just the memorial project. The thing that's been dialed down to from conversation with engineers that we've got to get surveying. So that'll be the next step. I haven't got anybody out yet, but before next meeting, that is the main goal, to get it surveyed. But something that did come up about the memorial is a potential fundraising opportunity, which still needs to be fully discussed, but it was talked about possibly having like a dunk tank or something like that at the 4th of July, and having all of the media market or some of the marketing at the plot, if we can get it located and staked so that people can see where it's going to be, get a board up there. And then potentially, if we have volunteers from this board to run a dunk tank in coordination with Parks and Rec, I think the dunk tank is probably going to be there. I think that's something we might do for the 4th of July. But if it could turn into a fundraiser, just something I wanted to discuss here and see if you guys were into that, and potentially do it as a direct fundraiser for the memorial. I said I would get done. I'm down to get done.
I've been in a dunk tank
Yeah.
before. so
Is it
it's-
okay? There's another group that's gonna have a dunk tank there already. Is that okay? No worries.
Sure.
Just have some, okay.
Dunk all day long.
Dunk, dunk, dunk.
And hope it's warm.
What other group is having dunk tank?
The Booster Club for football.
Mhm.
Oh, nice.
Sorry,
It's okay.
I didn't know.
Well, now we're discussing. So I can take that back and see if we want to. I think the idea was just something that we could separate from open free play, the park and
Yeah.
play,
Mhm.
bounce castles, that if we try to get those out there like we have in years
Yeah.
past, that's fundraiser able rather than just free. So
Okay,
Yeah,
awesome.
dunk tanks are so fun.
They're so much fun, yeah. I got
Yeah.
excited about it.
I'm just thinking dunk a trustee, right? Like that in the
You can
new.
already do that at sports show events. That's
good.
where I did it.
It's good. It's
Yeah.
good. Yeah,
Yeah, that's super.
anything, yeah, bringing the attention to it at 4th of July is awesome.
Yeah.
I think it's really important.
And if there's any other opportunities that you guys can think of at that event for fundraising, I think that, that's our biggest draw, right at the location.
Mhm. If we can have, yeah, big posters printed up for it and set up and somehow
Yeah.
showing, I don't know if you want, how you want to prop those up, but yeah, if we could have
I
the
think
design to
just
show.
like a future construction design plan on it. We'll have to figure out if we want to do like the CAD drawing or the
Rendering,
rendering. Thank you.
probably one of each, right? Just some big posters and get people excited and,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can you guys do a raffle?
and literally say looking for funding.
Mm-hmm.
Cause that might be something that doesn't compete with the dunk tank, but if there's like a fun raffle prize, people could enter for a raffle. I don't know if the town can run a raffle.
I consider Gable.
Yeah, so you have to have someone with a license, so the chamber does, so if that was something that might be a group to approach to do. So,
Yeah. it might help.
yeah, and so if it was a cool fun, the thing that like drew, it was a paddleboard Like people did crazy amounts of money to do raffle for a paddleboard.
There you go.
So, and that's huge, so people can see it from all over the place, so that's a good summer thing. So that, they did that once for chamber and it was really successful. And they did it every event, so the same raffle, same paddleboard at multiple events throughout the summer. They collected money from all the events.
And
So
then
if
at
that's
the
a
end, it's a
possibility,
big raffle.
yeah.
Hmm.
So less prize money,
Mhm.
more raffle money,
Mhm.
so I'll throw that one out there. That's very recreational.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eric just said Parks and Rec one, just get it branded on the bottom.
That
side of
would be
Wellington.
cool.
Yeah, it'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
That would be so cool.
Okay.
All right,
Singles,
well,
paddles, cups.
Whatever we can do to draw attention. I think
We're all
Talk to
events
Main
are allowed
Street.
for the year.
oh goodness,
Every
if you were
summer.
talking about the whole year, we
I
haven't
mean, I was
hit.
thinking just for getting a paddleboard
Like-
awarded, you
Yeah.
know, like, is there 2 or 3? You don't wanna wait till September, October, but
Right.
here you go.
Yeah.
Like
4th of
the
July
President
will be the biggest one. Here's your ice fishing paddleboard, right?
Well,
Um,
there'll be more park and play days, right?
we definitely have park and play days.
I mean,
That would be something about bringing the chamber out to, or I mean, yeah,
If-
out
yeah.
to our event. I'm thinking of larger events that they might be involved in.
We could start it for the June 15th.
Well, there's the June 10th one, which is the Main Streets one.
Oh, yeah.
We could get that out, yeah,
June 10th or June 15th.
June 10th.
Yeah. June 15th.
Then the 4th of July. If we
Is it 15th?
if we got a paddleboard in a week, we could do it at the fish
the
Yeah.
fishing derby.
Oh, man, that would be a
We'd have-
great place
We would
to
have
do
to
it.
somehow
Yeah.
get the,
I think in the past, some stores might be interested in donating those kind of things like Shields, Jacks, those kind of places. Would be good people to talk to, but that would have to be like immediately. We have.
anybody wants to reach out tomorrow and see if they'd be willing to, tell them the scope of the project that the money's going to. We can reach out.
I can make some calls tomorrow.
Yeah.
And try.
Yeah, let's just generate interest in it and
Yeah.
keep the conversation going.
Now, I got a
Um,
good Amazon account, we can be here in a day. It comes fast.
That's
Are
the
you
way
in
to
the-
do it.
Okay, well.
What's that we got?
Trying to think how we would coordinate all of that with being able to start a raffle and make sure that would happen. I
Yeah.
don't know about by the time that the fishing derby
When is it?
goes, 18th.
Does Kiwanis have it? I'll just ask them.
Ooh,
'Cause
that's
I've
an
had-
interesting one. The only thing is aligning with Kiwanis and just making sure that they could fulfill all the other events we would want them to be able to
Yeah, yeah,
hold that license at. I think,
we definitely need some sort of partner.
you know, a partner that's gonna be I won't say more involved, but if they want to get involved, they would need to kind of commit to the 4th of July, all the park and plays, all that kind of stuff.
Would you have to have a representative there, or you just have to have someone saying it's their deal?
I don't know gambling laws, but I would assume you'd have to have someone that.
No.
Their verbiage, like, one of them is legal, one of them isn't, raffle versus something else, so one of them is legal without a gambling license.
I'll ask Molly, she knows, she's had to do this a few times, so I'll ask her if there's a,
There's ways to get around it.
yeah, like they call it, there's, yeah, I think you're right, Dennis, there is, it's like, it's not called a raffle, it's called a, I don't know,
Giveaway.
giveaway,
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
pick a ticket out of a
Like a
bucket.
donation
Kind
versus
of
the.
a
paid
donation
raffle.
bucket,
Yeah.
Yeah. I
I
think-
guess. I don't
Suggested
know the words.
donation.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna wait until the updates later, but I have been asked to return to the Kiwanis meeting to talk about the bike fix stations. When they have more members there, so I can also talk to them about anything that we need partnership with.
Does the Legion have it?
gambling license,
501c3?
we're C19, we don't have a gambling. license yet.
C19.
It's a 5-year, we have to have that for 5 years before we get the gambling license, we're both.
Okay, cool. Sweet.
Bingo.
Okay.
Future projects. Well, I don't know, I guess I would say, since there's kind of a consensus that we would maybe want to move forward with this, my suggestion would be. Let's make our own personal questions and contacts as soon as we can. I'll inquire with into what the town thinks about moving forward with some sort of a raffle and how we would, you know, what the legality is about that, and then, you know, reach out to whomever has a gambling license if that's necessary as soon as possible, or get donations from Shields Jacks, see if they're willing to eventually do that.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be by the fishing derby though. Be pretty cool at the fishing derby to have
Yes.
a paddle board. And a decent amount of people.
Rebecca, I think your contact with Kiwanis is probably the same as mine.
Yeah.
So if you want to just let her know that if anything
Must be.
that I need to show up to,
Perfect, okay.
I'll do
I
it.
asked her about the raffle thing, but let me see what else.
okay.
Thank you.
Fishing is fun.
Okay, on to the next. We have been awarded the Fishing is Fun grant for the amount of $40,215.
Woo.
There's still some, they still call it conditional, but we got the official letter. The conditions
That's
would
great.
be that we give the, basically we just have to give them a timeline, W-9s, insurance, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And actually, they're going to help us push forward as quickly as possible because we have one of the most aggressive timelines as far as implementing the project, because it is, you know, some of the projects are much larger scope as we've talked about. I just got back estimated timeline from Easy Doc to get it in is 8 weeks from signature, which should be arriving in my inbox hopefully tomorrow. I do have some things I have to hold off before I sign that because there isn't a PO cut, but we don't have to actually pay until 10 days, net 10 after delivery. So I've got to figure out the logistics to make sure that we're not just getting that the doc brought to us before we actually get the money for the grant. So once they cut the
Oh.
PO, but there is some wiggle room in there. And the good thing is that we, you know, we have that money already available, so we could purchase it. It's not guaranteed, fully stamped. I know that's the scary thing, but it should go pretty quick. They're willing to cut the PO fast as we need it, and as fast as they can get it done because of our project timeline. So once Travis gets back to me about when the PO can be cut, really, that's probably the day that I'll sign off on the order for it.
So what does that get us? I know you've talked, there's been different.
Yeah, so it's just for one
Single-
single dock. Yeah, we'll get one single dock. The dock is right at about $50,000, but the town portion of it is both the tear out removal of existing path, addition of concrete, and then the addition of the concrete over to the path that goes to the shelter, so that you can go from the shelter ADA wise into the ADA dock.
Pick a side.
That's what we need to discuss as well. There's pros and cons to both of that, which we can discuss, and then the construction of the dock. And so our in-kind money plus the was that $9,800 or $785 plus the in-kind work and concrete, and then the construction. But the construction fee is wrapped into that, so they'll have Easy Doc send a representative to help us construct it as per spec. So
Cool. Very good.
so $50,000
That's pretty cool.
CIP or out of cash pocket. No, that, you know, that's not the entirety of the project for sure. It's about $10,000 that we'll have to put out.
Wow,
So,
that's awesome.
really
That's great.
cool.
Great
Yeah.
job.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, you know, now we have to consider as we talk later, if we really want to move forward with that tri-phase, you know, changing Wellville, dog park, fishing dock, and then pushing out the disc golf to the other side and asking the board if that's an okay switch of funding to be able to re-amenitize completely and for safety aspects, you know, the whole corridor there.
We could ask them in June when we see them.
I'll see why not.
Okay.
I mean, assuming that the grant and the PO is cut and we know that that money is gonna be definitely coming back to us as a
Okay.
reimbursement, then you know,
Yeah, I think that's awesome. I think that'd be amazing.
I think-
it should be done.
I think it's a really strong thing for us to say when we go there, like, this
Yeah.
is what
Yeah.
we've done, this is what we're doing, and this is how our vision is, we're taking one thing that was gonna be 50 that everybody agreed we needed, and we're getting 3 out of it with
Yeah.
potentially either money to
Insane.
spare, or maybe, there's no guarantee that all the pricing on everything is already set. We can get very close to that, but I
Okay.
mean, the dog park is gonna kind of be income too, whatever the cost is for the fence, but we'll do that.
I like it.
So
Right.
again,
a
I'll
lot
put
of-
that to the board. I mean, we've discussed that a little bit, but
Yeah.
that's kind of,
Mhm.
I think that's the direction we want to head, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm all
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
let's do it.
yeah.
So exciting.
I sure as don't wanna let the board have the 40,000, make it, dwindle away into the nights. We've seen that, or that's happened so many times to try to hold on to it and keep going with, keep the projects going.
yeah.
Well, I think
keep
it speaks a
projects
lot
going.
during that presentation, if we do bring that up, that the board and the staff has taken all the time and effort and came under budget, that we would like to reallocate that. And showing moving forward that we could do the same thing with future projects. It's only gonna give us more strength later.
Yeah.
It's gonna get more projects done for the parks and for everything, the recreation, talking about finding land for open space. It shows responsibility, so, and thank you guys for doing all that work, cause
Yeah,
that's huge, amazing work from staff, so.
yeah,
How many grants all I hear is like no's, like from grants, like, is this like from the first?
oh no,
You guys have
what
been
was the
getting-
last total?
In the last
Two-
5 years, towns received over $5 million
$5 million, yeah.
in grants,
5
mostly
million
for
grants?
the main streets. the
Okay.
Safety and revitalizing main streets grants.
Gotcha, okay,
So, but just not in the parks
dark side.
rec
okay.
side, but we are one of the most winningest teams. That's why I'm thinking winningest teams. Town municipalities and grants right now, especially for all the COVID related ones. We did really well compared to other
Well, that's amazing.
municipalities.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
But yeah, not in these kind of projects, so it's, the ones that were post-COVID recovery type things, so.
Uh-huh.
But that gives us, we have great grant writers, so
Great
obviously,
grant writers.
yeah,
Yes,
and great plans and ways to do it, so I love seeing it.
Cool,
Very cool.
very good.
yeah,
Yay.
That's good.
so hopefully it's a springboard to more grants
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the future for other larger projects. So we say, the one great thing about getting awarded a grant and implementing a grant is documenting that process and
Mhm.
showing that in your next grant processes that, look, we've
Mhm.
taken this, we've utilized it, this is how it impacts our community.
Mm,
Here's our next one. It aligns with our goals similar to the last one. So we're just continuing on the path of using really, taxpayer money. Grants are just taxpayer money that isn't directly from our town.
mhm.
It's whether federal or state taxes, we're gonna use that responsibly and do what we say we're gonna do and then show the impact of what we're actually doing. That's the important thing about a grant and
That's
then
good, it's huge.
using that momentum.
Perpetuates,
and
yeah.
grants perpetuate, yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Very cool.
So, yeah. So I will give more updates, just so you know, I'll give more updates when that PO is cut and then, hopefully we'll be able to get something out on social media soon to the public about it.
Yep.
Jerry and I are gonna have a conversation tomorrow afternoon. And then maybe we can get some marketing at our fishing derby, just saying, coming soon,
Yeah.
And big party.
ribbon
Right.
cutting.
Ribbon cutting, like, let's do the
All
whole
things,
thing.
yeah.
Let's make
Yeah.
a big deal.
Yeah.
We don't need a huge budget for it or anything, but let's make a
Can we
big
put a
deal.
shark in the pond and try to catch him?
Dude, let's do it. Can I have a laser on it? Like,
Back up the salt truck, drop it in there.
Remote control boats would be.
oh,
Yeah.
that would be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be such a fun.
We cut the ribbon.
Yeah.
Or a remote control shark.
Yeah.
Oh my
Super fun.
It's
This is a big-
seriously
this is a
though,
big deal.
this is a big deal and, the question that Travis, the grant manager, or, the grant manager had is, which pond do you want to put it in? And we've reached out, here's my take on it. The west pond is less overall sloped, so as the pond raises and lowers from irrigation season, and back end of season, we'll probably have less of a slope, as far as the ADA access goes, thus making it more accessible, and it's not quite as deep, which means that it won't be even at its lowest point as low or angled. That's great. It gets a little further out into that pond because it's a little smaller. I think that's typically the pond where most of the beginner fishers go. The east pond is a little deeper, and it does offer more, as the temperatures fluctuate, the fish might try to gravitate as it gets hotter towards the cooler water, or the sunfish. They might be in the shallower water. It just depends on the species. We can't really dictate that because there's the culvert that goes through, and the fish are going to do what they're going to do as the pond, warms, heats, fluctuates, all that kind of stuff. Our irrigation intake is on the east pond. I know we had originally had some concerns about that being a safety issue if someone did try to jump in. Everything from the west side is passive. I think it's pretty much just a passive control. There is not much as far as even on the east side that would have much suction. We are going to get the new aerators, so both of the ponds should be more ecologically sound in the long run. Those are kind of the things that we're thinking about. Also, the dock will create structure, which is really cool. Over time, it will create, fish are going to probably go
fish.
under the dock.
Habitat.
Right,
Yeah.
habitat. Thank you, structure habitat. So
John, you had some strong opinions, right, about placement?
I like the west side.
Okay.
I like the
Okay.
west pond. I know it's a little bit smaller, but I think it offers more of an opportunity. Like you said, you kind of get out a little further. I like the fact that the dock, angles won't change as bad. And then the view, I mean, you're off facing the mountains. I mean, it kind of has a different draw to it. So I like the west side pond.
You do.
Yeah.
Robert, do you?
Until you said mountains, I was thinking of the other one, so, I was backwards on my direction I was thinking. I don't.
Okay.
I like the one that allows more handicap accessible. I think that's a big, probably the top priority.
Yes.
top Thing of the whole gig.
The whole point, yeah.
So the whole point is that people who can't get there now can get there. So that's it. That would be the number one choice, and everything else is bonus after that, I think.
And I think the work that it takes to get to either one, as far as the groundwork and the concrete, is pretty comparable. I mean,
it's very similar. The grant
Yeah.
was written for, it's like a foot difference, I think, and that foot is only that last little foot getting out to it.
Yeah.
So everything going from path to the middle is the same. It's just that little bit to the east pond that's a little bit further, but as far as getting cubic yards, it's nothing.
Okay.
So
plus I think once we get this one up, it's only a matter of time before we get our second one.
Before we
anyways.
want another one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There
Okay,
you go.
great, yeah.
Especially if we start seeing a lot of
Yeah.
use on it, it's gonna be something
Yeah.
we're gonna turn around and there'll be a second one up. Hopefully.
Aaron, can you hear me? Do you have an opinion? Is he on
Yeah,
mute?
I'm with you. I'm with the rest of you. As far as, I think it's 6 and 1/2 dozen the other. I kind of like the West Pond myself.
okay, this is something we probably should vote on.
Oh, you wanna vote on it?
I think so. just
Sure.
For official.
Okay, sure.
Do it.
Yeah. Somebody wanna make a motion?
Would you motion that? I guess I make a motion to move forward with our fishing dock on the west pond. As discussed.
Second? Yes. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Aaron,
Hi.
thank you.
Cool.
Great, that's
Yeah,
where
that's
I'll
exciting.
push
Good
that
one,
information to the grant manager and we'll
Okay.
move forward.
That moved very
That's so
quickly.
exciting.
That is
Yeah.
pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I can't thank Kelly enough for her help in writing the grant. Well, and Did a little work. She just made it look really, really good. She did. And just being able to present the community aspect of that with her knowledge of not just grants, but just what we really look for, and being able to see the need in a larger scale than,
Wow.
Is the grant, is that public? I have not seen it. I'd love to see how it's written.
it's,
Is it in there?
so there's just, at the last two PROST meetings, the last PROST meeting, I put it in there. The
Okay.
application itself,
Is that
I wrote,
Billy,
and it's,
Little Billy?
yeah.
Yeah,
So
Oh,
that was the
okay.
presentation.
Okay.
Once we got so the first step was I wrote the actual, I guess I would say I wrote the proposal,
Okay.
but, worked with Kelly on some of the wording and the verbiage of it. And I did all the, work with Public Works to figure out exactly how much it was gonna cost, and then breakdown. I did all the cost breakdown and everything. And then she put together the actual
Okay, I
presentation
did
that
see
we
that.
presented to the board.
Cool.
I think it's a
Okay.
great project right now too, because it does fall in line with the trustees' vision and comprehensive plan, or whatever you wanna call it. Where we're providing accessibility, the community, outreach and finding other opportunities for people to recreate here in town.
Absolutely.
It's cool. Very cool.
Thank you.
It's a big one. I was not expecting that.
And this idea, just a reminder for everybody, this was brought about by a past PROST member. So I'll have to make sure he's invited to the party.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It'd be good.
Very
Priority list.
I think it was everybody here last time we kind of changed the priority list, so
Yeah.
I just put it on there to remind everybody that we're working on that, and we've discussed that we'll move forward with doing a recreation one that'll have everything that we're doing as far as events and the future events, and just making it presentable. The goal is to get it in similar format, and then
Yes.
at our potential special meeting to work on the presentation, or to finalize presentation and speaking points before the Board of Trustees meeting. We'll kind of dial that fully in, but it should be able to put in.
I started it, I lost it, I restarted it, it's
Oh.
halfway done for the, the calendar part for the recreation.
The
kind of
recreation
showing-
one, yeah. you
Yeah,
said the parks
showing
one.
the park, the pros one's fine. We'll clean that up just a little bit, so it's matching kind of what the strategic plan was for the past, set of board members. And then, yeah, I'm halfway done, so I'll get it sent to everybody, and then you guys can doctor it up and we can get it ready.
Can I just give one real quick input on it? Because
Yeah.
I've seen a few things on Let's Talk Wellington about, we see all the kids playing soccer at Viewpoint. Where do I get my kids signed up? If we can make that kind of a priority to figure out how we can get that information out to people a little bit easier. And where they have maybe, I don't know, I don't wanna say that there's somebody watching Let's Talk Wellington and posting on there, but where maybe if I just thought, hey, go here. I mean, I know we have some things, but I know signups for a lot of that are already over, teams are already established, and it's unfortunate, but just getting that information out to people the best we can, I think should be a priority of the rec side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting the new families has always been just like a hard thing, because they don't get onto the email list and they're
Yeah.
not on the like newsletter and everything right away. And so it's also a town-wide
Yeah,
priority. So
Yeah.
I think one of the, hopefully the things we're doing, which is hard on digital ones, but like water bill inserts would be
well,
Like
the
posters
the best
and-
way for new people.
I forget the name of it, but there's like is it the Wellington Welcome Wagon that's starting? If we can get something even with them that says, hey, if you have kids, the ages.
Well, we have that
rec
whole
stuff.
program that we put out in different places, the annual program that we developed, so. Yeah, new families are a little bit tough, as
Yeah.
Eric said, but we're in, every month, we're in the newsletter for whatever programming is starting. We have that program up at a lot of the local businesses, as well as we put it on our Facebook page, the town's Facebook page, our Instagram page. We have certain banners we put up, WCP that says registration now open throughout the year,
Yeah.
when they don't get blown down by the wind, and it's not very cost effective to have those massive banners up. We took it down because of that, but it'll go back up once the winds have stopped. Yeah, we're looking at creative ways, and we'd love input on that kind of stuff too.
Can we pass out something at the 4th of July, like just even a little piece of paper that has your Facebook page on it, maybe a QR code, like half pages, we can just.
We always like usually hand out some sort of quarter page thing that's just like sports we offer youth
Yeah.
and adult and like other activities included
Yep.
with a QR code of some sort.
Yeah,
And all the main streets, they were at all the main streets last year, whether we had a booth or not, they were out there.
okay,
Yeah, so yeah, we bring those everywhere we go and
Okay.
hand them out as much as possible. We do get quite a few people that way, which is nice, but yeah, sometimes it's just like the new people who move into town and they get settled and all of a sudden a year later, they're like, you have a rec department? I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, we've got it downtown. Like, you know, come check out everything, cause like we're posted up in a lot of
Yeah.
places and our posters and flyers are in a lot of businesses too, so I'm just, yeah, it's like, it's just hard, you know, and sometimes, you know, when we're one poster of 38,
Yeah.
you know, it's just, a lot of people.
The other one I see a lot too are, people who wanna join adult softball but can't find enough people for a team. That seems to be a problem for the last few years.
We actually got somebody to create an entire team this summer based off of that.
really?
Was there a
Cool.
way to get on a list or anything?
There is, yeah.
Yeah, there
That's
was
fun.
this year. What we found is some of the current teams like have enough of their own backup players. That
Right.
they don't actually take those people.
Mm.
So we did reach out and one of them was like, I'll just make a team. And he made a team and he was the first one to sign up for summer. Cause all those teams usually wait to the last week. It's open for like 2 more weeks, I think. And so, yeah, he was the first one to sign up, which is great. But yeah, he's actually gonna put on a
The
tournament
replacements.
too, which is.
There-
nice.
Yeah.
So they should be for sure.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Can you guys do Friday folders for elementary?
Oh,
They've done them for like special soccer clinics. I've seen those before. So I wonder if they could just do a spring
Yeah.
registration
We can.
thing. That would be a lot of cute little ones.
One thing we're gonna try and do this year too, when it comes back is, we've got to contact them to like PTO newsletters.
mhm.
And
Oh.
they'll let us, it's like, I can't remember if it's a small charge, it's like $50, but you get into every newsletter for the semester or the year.
Oh, that's
I don't
cool.
remember. But we did it once and then something happened with COVID or the like letters slowed down for some reason, and so we stopped, but we have to keep that back up. But yeah, there's definitely, and if somebody has more contacts at the school, I mean, we know some, but sometimes like getting into the specific school makes it a little bit harder. Yeah,
And then the neighborhoods too, I think we really need to hit.
Yeah,
Or-
most of the neighborhoods have their own Facebook group
Right.
and we do, like, we repost for Sage Meadows. That's a pretty active group, but I mean, I don't know if everybody does.
Well, any of the, like, whatever contacts you guys have, like when we were talking about the Park Meadows thing and people were talking on next door, right?
Yeah.
That we were,
Oh, I was Facebooking
when
them.
we were, oh, yeah.
I'm still admin of their group. I don't live there.
But I mean, any of those contacts you guys can bring to us and allow us to, you know, either ask for us to be able to at least send them things, or
Mhm.
sometimes, you know, if the admin says, hey, here's what our next newsletter's coming out, do you want anything to add? Cause
Yeah.
we did do that with the Knolls, I think, this last year. I think Jesse
we got one.
pushed some
that
stuff out
person.
there, but like, you know, little pieces here and there. If
Yeah.
you guys have the
Mhm.
specific contacts for those.
Okay.
The people that run
Y'all
those
heard
Facebook groups.
Macaroni Kids?
Oh, I know her.
We're gonna try to start putting it on that calendar
Okay,
too, like our events anyway.
yeah.
Everything else is like a paid thing, but
Okay.
the, like posting on their event calendar is free.
Good.
So I'm gonna try and get a crafty way to be like youth sports as an event and just like put it some.
I
we'll
haven't
fi- we'll
done
figure it
anything with her for years, but.
Yeah.
And she
that's
does-
awesome.
Local communities too,
Yeah.
not just Wellington. It's
Mhm.
Wellington, Windsor.
Fort
Tim and Fort
Collins,
Collins.
Yeah, it's pretty far north. It's like a big organization and then they're all like sub-owned everywhere, so it's nationwide.
That's cool. Okay.
You already have her contact.
Sweet.
Okay, presentation, right? We are set for June, what was it?
With the June 11th.
June
meeting.
11th? Okay.
I'm not either.
John, you're on your own.
Sorry, Jen.
Dude, he
The
was
11th?
he was fired up last time. He said, I'm ready to talk. I'm ready to roll.
Let's go.
When is the date again? July?
June 11th.
June 11th,
Yep, and we're gonna try to,
6:30.
6:30?
yeah.
I may stagger in late, but.
Let me make sure I have that.
Is that okay?
I was gonna say, I'm
Sorry.
more excited about that date than before even, because the new board won't start their strategic planning until the very beginning of July.
Okay.
So all your presentations would be great input for, before they're putting together this strategic plan, so.
Try to
That
influence.
that it's a great time, yeah, it's a great time to put everything. out there.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Okay.
Until then, we can't wait to align our projects with whatever they
Yeah.
come from, because we've completed projects, but we're also looking for the future
yeah.
to align.
Absolutely,
something to
it's a
look
great
at.
time
Yeah.
to get that stuff in front of everybody, and the most recent thing you hear before you're making a decision weighs heavy, so I think it's a great idea.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And because I was at training today, I wasn't at leadership, so I will look at the calendar to see, but that meeting specifically
Mhm.
didn't have the hugest agenda on it, so it's something that we can definitely be more of a focus for, as far as getting some info out.
That's great.
When do we want to do like a pre-meeting just to do a walkthrough and stuff? A
I'm
little
available.
practice. What do you got?
I don't really have anything on the calendar right now.
Billy, how are you guys?
So we'd probably want to do it, what, the last week in May, I think. Last time we did it 1 week before, and that seemed a little bit of a crunch to get the PowerPoint finalized, just with
Yeah.
everything else that we're departmentally trying to accomplish this time of year. But let's see. We'll be setting up for Brute Fest on the first, fencing, right? So that week is,
No, we'll do that.
that's what I'm saying, that week.
Yeah, yeah.
Thursday, the 30th, that evening?
That's just the last day of school for kids.
30th,
Yeah,
mm,
bad.
well,
And it's a half day, so. That's
Kids
Oh,
galore.
Okay.
crazy.
We could do it early in the week of the 3rd. Actually, that week previous looks like it would be. What about that Wednesday?
I can't
Oh,
do,
you have your
can't do the 29th.
Wednesday meeting, right? Okay.
Yeah. 28th is a meeting for the trustees, is that right? 27th?
We got nothing on
That's
that
Memorial
Monday.
Day.
Memorial Day.
Oh
It's
my
Memorial Day. I
gosh.
definitely won't be here that day.
Well, let's just
Love
do
you all, but.
June 5th.
I mean,
Sure.
I'm available, yeah.
So I guess the goal with that will be to get the presentation out, bounce it around as much as possible, get input, notes, ideas.
Let's try to have everything in ahead of time, right? Like I'll get you we'll have the PROST,
Priorities,
priority list.
Rec priorities.
Yeah, we'll have all that stuff lined out, the grant information, right? Like you'll have that all laid out. Yeah. What else? If we just have everything preset for the visual part, then we can work through the one.
Yeah, I think throw out ideas now, or we can, and it's up to you. We can do it now as far as just like bullet points, or we can just do it on an email, just like ideas to put that you want to present to the board.
I think the structure of our past
Yeah.
presentations has been fine with, what we've accomplished.
Who we are.
Yeah, who we are, what we've accomplished, what our short-term plans are, long-term plans. And just kind of the same structure we've done before. I think it worked just fine.
Yeah.
And then we kind of, I don't know who else will show up to speak, but we kind of lay out the same way. And have somebody kind of do the opener, and however many people, we just split it up equally and see how things work together, with obviously, welcoming the new trustees, introducing ourselves. This is what, we're about. This is what we've accomplished. Then somebody else takes over. This is what our new plans are. And then some kind of closing. I think doing it in that same structure works out real well, so.
I think we all,
Sounds good.
from what I heard last time, the big closing thing would be just like, we're in a place now where we're getting these great projects to re-amenitize, but we need to really focus on if we're gonna do the Park and Rec master plan, cause it's holding us up from
Yep.
long-term visioning and a grand scheme, right?
Yes.
So I would say that might be the closing idea there,
Sounds good.
right?
You always leave with a call to action, so
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll start to put something together, toss it out there, and
Okay.
then
We could just email back and forth
email
about some ideas
specific
and,
ideas.
and then by the time we meet on the 5th, we can have
Everything.
it pretty much laid out where we're just going over who's doing what.
Okay,
5th it is.
I like it.
Put it on the calendar. Special meeting, late May, May 5th.
You mean June 5th?
Yeah. It was late May, now it's late June 5th, early.
We can do it May 5th, it's just fast.
What else do we got? We got, oh, the future calendar.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Okay. Do we have anything to talk about for that? We're potentially having Cody on the 12th.
Yeah,
I checked with him today, so he it dropped it in his ear while Billy was at his training. So,
Works, I think.
mask.
What are our main talking points with Cody? So
that's what we need to kind of discuss. Are we ready to talk to him the day after we do a Board of Trustees presentation? Dive into it?
I don't have a problem with it, but if anybody has a reason to push it back, I don't see why we couldn't do that too.
I'm out that week. We're up in Estes camping, so I don't even know that I'll be able to dial in.
Erin, are you around?
I should be around.
Well,
Mhm.
okay.
You know, let's say maybe wait till updates. I don't know. I guess I can update now. So Jordan Jones put in his resignation from the board,
Mm-hmm.
and actually just today Teresa did too.
What?
Yeah, she said similar family reasons. She just couldn't move forward. So just thinking about Cody coming in and speaking to 3 of a board. My other thought is if we can,
Seeing
if
him
we-
last time.
if we, I know, and I don't want to push this off, but maybe a goal is after we do the comprehensive plan, that might give an idea, and that would also get hopefully enough time to get 2 positions on the board filled. So that we're not just talking to Cody with half of a board and then having to fill in everybody else.
So you can't be here.
Yeah.
Erin can't. Okay, so let's push Cody back to July. Let's do that.
See if
And
can
then
get it
we gotta
filled.
get these seats filled as quickly as
I
possible.
agree.
Okay,
That'll give us more time to think about what we want to talk to
Mhm.
Cody with anyways. Cause I know some of my ideas were land acquisition and.
Yeah.
That's what I want to know. What else is
Um,
on
Yeah, I mean, what our potential is moving forward. Cause it's kind of like whenever a park shows up, we just want to get our hands in it and we're like, all right, what do we need right here?
Yeah.
So I kind of want to get some of those ideas out there with them, but I don't really have a whole lot more.
Future development land that
Yeah.
is potential
potential.
trails, I think
Yeah.
were obviously a huge thing. That's kind of also dialed in with land acquisition or things, so.
Something I've heard that's come up before, it's not like a direct connection, but it's the talking about in development plans, the specific land acquisition, like the agreements associated with those plans, like what is allocated to parks, what dollar amount is allocated to park, what is actual square footage, like all those kind of things. I think it would be good for everybody to like have a basic understanding of what those allocations are. Because in the past, it has come up at these meetings. I promise I'm not making all these things up. I like to bring it back, but the wonder of the fees, impact fees associated with parks and trails, whether that was an adequate amount for the actual need and use, and if that could arguably be changed, and what that process might look like, and if you guys would promote that, or if you wanted more money for parks from those kind of fees. This has come out through many meetings and different things, so I'm just trying to bring it all together, but Cody is the master of those things too, so.
Cody's aware that we've asked for impact fees to go up several times.
Oh, yeah, so I think.
We've asked year after year after year after year.
I think one of the times it just didn't line up because we were already seeing increases with the water stuff.
Yeah,
And then the limiting of the building permits, and it was kind of just timing was off.
yeah,
But we might be rolling into the time that it is a good ask now.
I think it would be good, and do you know about, I mean, a lot of the new members maybe aren't aware of or aren't familiar with the process of impact fees and the land allocation and those kind of things, so.
I'm
It would be,
not-
it's
no,
a great
it should be
educating
interesting.
opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's where the most of the capital money comes from for infrastructure, which is in this case parks, so.
Interest.
Yeah, and trails.
Okay.
So I think it would be worth at least everybody being knowledgeable about how development pays for that. And then if you guys then have feedback at that point, that would be a great time to make a very educated recommendation.
Mhm.
Very good idea.
So what is that date in July?
So 12th?
Okay.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
I'll move it over.
And then in June, we can talk about the float if you wanna to do that.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
might be on
Okay.
I
there.
got small float stuff.
Scroll down it. We might have the float on there. Oh, no.
It
Tree
was at the
City's
top,
there.
wasn't it?
That was our special
Oops.
meeting to construct
Oh,
the
yes.
construction flow.
Okay,
Special projects meeting.
Did we put that on the calendar?
I did.
Oh, nice.
For special projects meeting.
I think the
Yeah.
July date is July 10th. Sorry, I'm just looking at the calendar.
Our strategic plan will not be done by that time. Just so you know. So if you wanted to talk to Cody after strategic plan, that won't be done by July. That July
Mhm.
meeting.
she's right, sometimes, yeah.
There you go.
Who wins some of those?
50-50 these days.
Thanks very much.
I would say. Put on the June 12th as well. Potentially, if we have the date and timeline for the stock ribbon cutting, we can start planning that.
Okay.
We could talk about that in our guest list and all the not huge things, but the community engagement and that.
The only formal.
That's what we can talk about.
Taking a time.
Black tie.
Pushing stuff, hello.
Black tie and waiters.
Yeah.
That would be so fun.
That would be awesome. That's a great black tie and waiters is a great tag.
We can call it black tie and waiters, although I don't want people waiting out into that policy, so let's not promote
Yeah.
it, but it is kind of a fun
It's
little,
pretty good.
cool.
That'd be awesome. Okay.
That's great.
What else?
We'll throw, I don't know if it's on there, we need to, WCP Memorial update and potential for, marketing for the 4th of July.
Yeah,
Um,
Separate item, marketing.
just update, yeah, I would actually, let's put that as a separate one.
I would assume you guys have a little bit of budget to make the posters, get the posters made.
Yeah, we have marketing budget through,
Okay,
typically it's through the recreation, but I mean,
okay,
it's a place to
We also have a
recreate.
plot printer in the town. So we
Oh.
can
We
make
could
something
put it
big and just
together.
like tape it to a board or,
car.
yeah,
Okay,
make it a lot easier.
Taping all the signs to Aaron's truck. is that-
yeah,
We can also use one of the sandwich boards.
Oh, cool.
We have one of those.
sweet,
Just plop it in there.
okay. Yeah, okay,
Larger things.
all the big stuff, like we don't usually have a ton of stuff in the fall.
Yeah, and I think after comprehensive and strategic, we'll start looking at what projects, as we talked about, what we want to align with the capital projects the next year. Um, There, You know, at some point too, when we have a smaller agenda, if that ever happens, it seems like we get an agenda and it's like 2, and then 2 weeks before, it's like, no, we have 6 things to talk about. If we have a smaller one, there are a couple exercises I'd love for us to go through just about. Yeah,
Jumping jacks?
there we go. Yep, jumping jacks. Just like a, you know, potential master plan concept thinking as well as like financial. You know, I'm going through this financial sustainability thing. There were a couple things I would like to, as a group, for us to talk about, so it kind of turns our focus maybe not a different direction, but really dials it into what the comprehensive plan says and what we value, and to match that. It'll basically make it easier for us to match it up and keep us on the right direction. Not like we don't have a good path, but just fun. I would say somewhat fun, but also telling things about, you know, what we think we can try to afford, as well as what we, you know, what projects we have large scale, and if we need to swing at grants, that gives us a really good idea early on where we need to
Yeah,
kind of push our ideas towards.
and probably a follow-up meeting about trails and kind of dump everything that we've done in the past, and probably some digging and archiving, pulling out of the archives, everything that we've worked on for trails, and maybe having a meeting about that too.
So that could be a Bob thing too.
Be cool if Bob, if we get Bob.
Oh, Gowie? Yeah, sorry. It's not gonna be a Bob thing. I was like, who's Bob? What about Bob? Yes, you've, and I've spoke to him about coming too. Maybe, you know, put him on for, if we got Cody in July. We talked about, although it has been a couple meetings since we had a guest speaker, not doing it back to back typically, just because we do get those agendas packed up and it takes away from the things we want to accomplish. So maybe if we get Cody in July and it makes sense, let's do that. And then Bob in September.
Yep.
Okay.
September or August.
Public comment?
You just sit anywhere is fine. Thanks.
Bob in August or
September.
September.
There might be a few things for Cody with the trails too that would be good to have a little time to think about before Bob comes in. Because I haven't uncovered any of the stuff that we talked about. I need to find it. But I think it'll just take me some time. I could go through past agendas online. I just gotta get probably my computer back away from my kids, so
There you go.
hiding over there.
Oh, I was like, is there?
You talking about
Where did you
that-
look at that?
Talking about those old plans that we told them.
Yeah, so,
They may have been located. I have to confirm, but they may have been located.
I will cry. That'd be
I
awesome.
will, I will check.
There are minutes too from meetings we had where certain aspects were talked about as far as budgeting goes and as far as the land goes. It's kind of been, I don't want to say neglected, but it just hasn't been thought about in a while. And there was just a time we had it, when we were there and we had everything drawn up, but we were just trying to discuss how we were gonna deal with the railroad, and that was the biggest deal, and then all of a sudden everything got yanked back from us. So there's a lot to be found that we could hopefully find and go over at some point again, so everybody's up to date with what efforts have been done towards those.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can dig into archives.
Really hoping it's actually been found.
That'd be so
It was like,
cool.
hey, I think this is it. And I was like, great, let's look at it tomorrow. And tomorrow was a couple days ago. and I
Okay.
just Skip past it.
Well,
so.
cool. Call me, text me, whatever. I will come down. We'll have a party. This would be cool.
Lauren wants a party. She could bring it up.
Well, you gotta celebrate the wins, right? Like,
Yeah.
and finding these large posters for the trails that so much work and so much money was put into would be phenomenal. This would be really cool.
There we go. September, we'll throw a party.
Yeah, there you go. Let's do it.
Laurelyn's party,
Let's
please.
celebrate it. Okay. Updates? What do we have for
Okay,
updates?
one of the things I was gonna update on was the PROST members. So
Okay.
we'll get moving forward with that. I was gonna update on the city of Fort Collins, Larimer County trail connectivity, but that kind of came up in discussion. I hit in and it's been discussed a little bit at board meetings, but the Safe Routes to Parks grant with Safe Routes to School is just ongoing. We're still working with the contractor on that. It's really a grant from Safe Routes to Schools for Safe Routes to Parks, and it's just a planning grant. But we've kind of had some holdups with a couple of the meetings. The goal is to get the consultant out here in the next month. We kind of had something tentative that might change depending on how close we are to being able to actually make it actionable for them to be worthwhile for them to come out. But at the next meeting, I will try to see if this group would like to be present, because we're gonna do a walk around kind of assessment of certain areas, and that's what we haven't keyed in on, is exactly what they're gonna do while they're out here and whether they need to help us with public engagement about moving forward. Again, that one will be a wonderful information that will lead into the master plan, because whatever we get from that planning grant goes right into direct information that we can give to a contractor if we do the master plan and say, look, there's other things compiled into our system that directly affect the parks and where it's headed. So I will see if it's possible or necessary for anybody here, or if we want a representative from this board. I think it's justified, absolutely. I know it's not our grant, but you
Yeah.
guys are PROST, so I think input at that walk around level is justified.
Okay.
I'll see if that's warranted, but
Okay.
that's my goal, is to get some input here.
That'd be fun.
Or at least to understand what they're going through and be part of the process and see, so that we can bring reports back to this board and say, hey, that we've gone through this is where that planning goes, so we can incorporate that into everything we're trying to do.
Yeah.
But it's kind of held up a little bit. We have a potential meeting this Friday or next Monday, and we'll try to nail down that date for what it'll be.
Okay.
Trees and WCP, there's probably about counted them yesterday with the contractor to put them in. 22 different trees we're gonna get back in at WCP. That streetscape along Buffalo Creek, the ones that have passed away here and there, and then all the way, there's 5 trees at the very end on the north side that I don't know if they never were planted or if they all went. We know the harsh conditions, so we're trying to get small caliper trees. Our arborist has said that's probably the best way to go, so that they have the best vitality in their new environment as they're younger. So we'll see what we can do with that. And then some others just around the baseball fields. A couple of those have gone down, so I think 22 to 25 there. And then the other 13 over at Park Meadows. So we're making progress with getting trees repopulated. I think the next goal then with the trees will be probably to go around down the creek where the disc golf course is and work on all of those cottonwoods there, because they're getting large. If we're gonna consider this project, we're gonna have more youth in the area. They're already enough, so those need to get trimmed. A lot of them are still in good condition, actually, as far as that condition map says, but just letting you know, that'll probably be the next arbor goal, is those larger trees.
Can never go wrong with trees in a disc golf park.
And there
It's ideal.
And there hopefully will be more, we'll put more trees in for
Yeah.
them. On that side, maybe larger caliper trees so that they survive the discs and the soccer balls a little bit better. That might not be best for them to be able
Yeah.
to root, but at the same time, we don't want them to get knocked over with the inch and a half calipers. Underpass on I-25, I had a meeting on Monday with our electrician. That is just terribly lit, in my opinion. So looking to get new bulbs underneath there and they are LEDs in there. They're very, very low lit LEDs. The lumens on them are so low. We took one of the covers off and the cover isn't clear. It's like frosted. So not only are the lumens super low, the glass is frosted. They did it. It's 80 feet in between lights per side. So 40 feet if you go in a zigzag.
Yeah.
The lumens only shared about 6 feet. So, I mean, justified for trying to make an upgrade down there, especially with all the upgrades that we're trying to make in that corridor. So
Yeah.
that's something we're going on.
Is that a big expense? Is that a big deal?
I'm gonna get costs on them. They might have to change the whole fixtures because trying to retrofit, they're so interesting. It's just like a plastic plate with tiny little lights that are each like way under lumen. Rather than something that's projecting down and out, it's
Yeah.
just straight, it's a cone down
Wow.
5 feet at the most. So, we're working on that to make it safer. If they can't, maybe they'll try to just go down the conduit on each side and put new ones in
Okay,
and double the amount of lights, and the new ones going in will be brighter. I'm waiting to see back they said they're gonna give you 2 to 3 different options. Chances are they can just retrofit something, hopefully,
Okay.
cross our fingers, but that might not even give enough light if it's spacing, so.
okay.
They're the pros and I trust them. They went out and did the last little piece of electrical we need for the splash pad, so Friday, they're coming in hopefully to do like their hookup, and then, after that, it'll just be testing. Splash pad will be up and running with all new stuff. Love you guys to come see it. It's cool for Memorial Day. And we did get our, AFO license, aquatic facility operators license, so there's 2 of us that will be able to, if anything goes wrong, we'll be able to help on call, but also be on location at all times to balance chemicals.
Yeah.
Park maps, we had a previous conversation with Jerry and Kelly as we spoke last time. Jerry's gotten some really, I believe he's gotten out and gotten quotes to have potentially drones of all of the parks and a lot of the amenities in downtown, so that we can use those for actual photos rather than stock photos on some of the stuff that we have. So, as previously noted, I have a meeting with him tomorrow about a couple different marketing things, one being the dock and then the second being these park maps. So,
So cool.
yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
Okay.
And we'll see what pricing looks like, but it's kind of more of a overall town, like, let's get some awesome photos, like, let's get some stuff out here, let's
We
get a
need a market,
professional
yeah.
person
Yeah.
out here that
Everywhere.
has a license to fly a drone and can take real good photos for us so that we can use them over time.
Yeah.
And then, potentially work with this person for events and stuff like that.
Yes.
Just,
Very cool.
that'll be the next phase for that, and then getting those done as quickly as possible. Kids Park proclamation is out, so it'll be at the next Board of Trustees, this Tuesday. And we finally got our mower that we've been waiting for. As far as that capital project goes, we're testing it out we have a month to test it out. If we move forward with the purchase, it's $32,000. The budget on that was $80,000, so we'll be able to save some money on that one. We might need to buy a trailer, so that would be an ask to the board, is to allow us to use, because it's bigger. We can road it. We have been roading it around, and we've mowed pretty much all the parks this week already. I will say, the one time on Tuesday that we had it in, or Monday, was that Monday that we had it? Yeah, it was here Monday. That we had it in, it did the majority of WCP and Viewpoint in like a half a day, when WCP would
WCP
take a day itself in our old mowing pattern. So already it cut it down by
half a day
half.
or 6
2 to 3 times as much work, which will generate 2 to 3 times more ability for our crew to be able to do other things that are set in place.
Okay.
Nice.
So another potential win if we go with this mower, which it's looking like it's gonna work out for us. Recreation side, I have a few things. Eric can go next, but we're really pushing, we're exploring potential to work or partner with Fort Collins on adaptive recreation or Special Olympics opportunities for our community, potentially putting a team in, and just the logistics around it. It's a lot to try to get done in the summer, but we're gonna make a push for it. If we could generate enough people to either get a team or be able to have our community be bused down there to at least participate and make accessibility and travel easier, since we don't have transportation. The idea has been floated that we host all the other teams to come up here for one day so that they get to travel for a game. So like working with them and creating opportunity. We're this week very much back and forth with their recreation department on what logistics would look like to be able to do that. Obviously, no promises because there's a lot of logistics that go to it, but
I think we're meeting with them
next week is a sit down meeting with them, so trying to get as much information so we can maybe hammer something out and generate some interest. That'll be good. This might be a lot to get into, but I'll give a quick overview just so you guys know. City of Fort Collins had reduced fee programs for their customers, and they had expanded it for every department further than just the city of Fort Collins. Recreation was the very last one that they're taking off the books. They counseled down, they've taken off different departments over the last few years. They grandfathered recreation because their recreation department fought for the needs. So we have people in Wellington that certain citizens were getting reduced fee in city of Fort Collins, but that's as mandated by city of Fort Collins going away for all their departments starting 2025. So I have a list from the recreation department, all of the people for all the stuff that use reduced fee down there. Something that I'm working through to figure out how we equitably make it work for our population. We can't offer reduced fee for our participants in everything that they would use in Fort Collins. The idea was kind of floated that maybe we do certain things that we cannot provide in Wellington that are essential for essential life functioning, safety, that kind of stuff. Like we don't have a pool. So potentially offering safe to swim reduced fee for people that would need it to help them out, because that is a life-saving measure, taking swim lessons when you're young. Through adaptive recreation, possibly people that are necessary, it's necessary that they have therapeutic recreation that they have to have by doctor's mandate, working with them because it's something that's a necessity for quality of life. I'm just throwing a lot of things at you right now, but it's something that I'm working through because they are removing that. Now, you know, if they go down there and they choose to play baseball, we can't subsidize them probably because we offer that program. We offer basketball, not as a robust, but we still offer those kind of opportunities for certain recreation. So there's a lot of balance with this. Just I wanted to put that out to you guys. It's something that I'm working on, not really trying to push it off to other people so far yet, because it's just really what are we doing with this? How are we going to support our community in this? And it might be something that eventually probably will be going to the board to kind of get direction on where we go. And that's, you know, honestly, one of the things I was talking about with that financial stability and where we value things and what we look to subsidize. Is that something that we can come up with that is very important to us and what those programs look like? So large scale, but very important to you know, to the community that needs that financial stability and also quality of life and recreation.
Wow. Interesting.
And their department's been fantastic back and forth. Like they reached out and said, we've got these people that we can't serve. So it was grandfathered in. People that are going down there now that haven't been, they aren't allowed. So there are people that are still continuing to get it, but new people aren't getting that reduced fee. So I've had a couple communications with some people in the public that are looking for those opportunities. So bringing them in, hopefully getting to sit down and talk with them. Like, what do you need? What do you see? How can we provide with what we have as opportunities and what we have as far as our amenities to be able to provide, you know? We don't have a lot we can do here, but you know, let's make that space as usable as possible for other opportunities. Possibly putting out a proclamation for Parks and Rec Month and what else we can do for Park and Rec Month. And then if you haven't checked it out, there's the patent for the library. I don't know if we've discussed that yet, but just a new little recreation opportunity, technically in Library Park, but it's part of a grant that the library put together. There's going to be some Adirondack chairs out there and some shade structure. maybe we'll try to use it for, some potential recreating opportunities, whether it's, yoga outside or something like that. But pretty cool outside. A fun little reading area is what it is designed for, but we're gonna use it as multi-purpose as we can.
That's great.
Those are some updates.
Okay.
Any other rec updates? Sorry.
No, just, would love to push like some sort of celebration and thank you for Parks and Rec Month. I always like to say like, everybody knows we exist when things go wrong, but people kind of forget we're here when things go right.
Yeah.
So, just like appreciating everybody in our department is great. Seasonal staff hiring is great. Made the last offer today. Really excited to like move past that stage and have people working.
Yeah.
The hiring process is a lot. With that, the batting cages should be opening just as soon as those people are in. They're up and ready. They brought them up last week, but the rain stopped the testing, so they're doing testing this week and they should be ready to go.
Is everything going okay with those?
That was gonna be my question.
We kind of have
They're
over
fun-
the years
they're
talked
functioning.
about,
Yeah, lots of Band-Aids.
okay,
They're good. They're
Okay.
working with the Band-Aids, but they're working.
it's
Yeah.
working, okay.
Yep. Luckily, the person who's working on them, Chuck, Lavelle, his company comes out pretty quickly. And responds pretty quick, and he'll even come out and like same day, like, what's happening? And talk to the person who notices the problem, so he's really cool
Nice.
about it. It's local, which really helps us.
A
They wouldn't-
volunteer coach
Yeah,
at times.
yeah,
too.
volunteer coach at
Yep, through
times, yeah.
recreation.
He's, yeah, they would not be running or functioning as well, or some of them even at all, if it weren't for him and their understanding of those machines specifically. Yeah, I think we're getting going, things are happening, so
Pretty exciting.
Emma and Kristen are crushing it, which is great on the rec side, so. Yeah, you got an awesome team. Love to say thanks to them all in July,
Yeah.
July.
Slide some up, okay.
right, it's July.
I'm coaching a softball team, so we actually get home games in Wellington. I mean, my kids have never done that before this year, so I'm very excited about that. So that's been fun for me. In June is the Colorado Municipal League Conference, so everybody, all the municipalities across Colorado will be actually coming into Loveland. And there's gonna be a ton of presentations, best practices, networking with other communities. And so I wanted to let you know that I commit to making sure that I attend as many parks recreation based sessions as possible. Usually it's like a community that's been highlighted for some amazing feats, best practice, whatever, and they're coming to share how they did it. So I'll attend as many of those as possible. It's an action-packed 3 days. So anything I learn, I will bring back. So I'm committing to that. And then the following month, we're doing strategic planning. There were lots of feedback on both the online form and in person for the strategic planning session. That's to do with gathering spaces, community, parks, open spaces, trip, all of those things came up. So I think it was well represented between your presentation, and so that you guys know, you always and anytime can reach out to the board. And I would suggest you do that. We have new board members. It might be a great opportunity to send an email out from the town website. It says contact the board, click here, and it's a form that goes to everyone at the same time. You want to introduce yourself, say that you're serving on PROST, let them know a little bit about what you care about and who you are. I think this would be a great opportunity to do it since we have new board members who maybe don't know who you are. Well, probably not, but they probably know who you are, but just, I think it would be a great opportunity. So I would do that if I were you.
Do we get to keep you as our liaison?
I'd
really like to not change.
we talked about it last meeting and that was the recommendation. I don't know if there's any action required to make that legitimate. But I was recommended to do PROST, Main Street and trash.
Okay, we don't want to lose it.
Yeah. So, and then nobody else, well, I'm sure people are interested, but nobody was interested to do it other than me. So I think we're good.
Yeah.
And I made a clear point to be like, they want consistency, they want me
Yeah.
here. I was
Yeah.
like, this is feedback I have received, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I did do that. So I'm your gal, as far as I know. There may be action necessary. I'm not quite sure. I'm pretty sure it's done. So
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
we have all of our special assignments and liaison things. We have a good idea of what we're gonna be doing, so. Cool. And I think Arbor Day was the last proclamation, and then we'll have kids to park. So, we're doing proclamations, but, next time we do one though, I'll definitely make sure that maybe you guys get invited too, so if you wanna receive it on behalf of those kind of things, that would be fun too, to also get more FaceTime. If anybody can just show up, shake a hand, receive a very awesome, wonderfully written proclamation of how valuable it is, whatever item that we're talking about is to our community. They're beautiful. So I have a couple framed in my house. They're so beautiful. So,
On my desk.
yeah. So I'll let you know when those are coming up. Well, is one coming on Tuesday? I don't remember. You
Kids
said
Park.
that. Kids Park Day.
Mhm.
So if anybody can
Tuesday.
come on Tuesday, it's the first things in the meeting. So if you want to come and
Okay.
participate, be in a photo, we'll say, hey, Laurelyn's here from PROST.
That'd be really cool.
That
Yeah.
would be cool. Okay, so come on Tuesday,
Cool.
6:30.
Okay. Very cool.
You don't even have
I
to
think-
say
yeah.
anything. You just have to stand up, shake a hand.
And everybody claps at you.
Yeah.
Are you going?
I'm gonna try, cause I love kids parks. It's a big deal, so.
All right, well, let me know if you go out, sure.
And then it really is the first thing, so you don't have to. If you were, you're welcome to stay for the entire meeting, but if that's not what you're signing up for, that's fine. You don't have to do that. It's
Okay.
very early on.
Thank you.
So
I
if you
think
don't
I
come
can
at 6:30, though, you
Honorary
might miss
Post
it.
member.
Okay.
No.
I think I can.
Okay.
That would be fun.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Get you guys in front of them as much as possible. Honestly, it makes a difference. I would,
Yeah.
I want you to do it.
It does,
Okay.
it does make it,
It
it makes
does.
a huge difference.
Yeah. Like, I remember the 5
I'll
times
write
I
it
saw
down,
them.
I'm here,
Yeah.
I'm here, down the street.
Yeah.
This participation stuff is really.
Mhm.
getting to be a lot.
I'm just gonna send a little message saying that I invited you, so it's not a surprise.
Okay. What, the 14th? When is it?
Tuesday, whatever that day is.
14th, next week?
The
Yeah,
14th,
6 days from now. That's good math. I was doing it in my head, sorry. Patty.
gotta- Right, stuff down.
Trustee Daly, do you have anything else? I don't want to cut you off. if you
Oh,
have
yeah,
more.
I was texting Patty. I think that is all, okay, going into strategic planning too, I have gained so much knowledge, priorities, community interests from meetings I attended here and our conversations that we've had. So I would just let you know that I commit to advocating for everything that I've learned here. But if there is a specific item that you want, or you would like to reinforce anything that you want me to go into strategic planning with our board, I am happy to do that. So send me a note, email, whatever. You guys are very involved and participate a lot in the community. Your voice matters. Everybody says, but you guys are very aware of what's going on. So I appreciate your feedback. So if you do want to formalize anything that's important for me to consider for strategic planning, I would love to receive that. And I will blast it all over the place. So I'll do it all the time. Yeah, I will commit. Yeah. to do it. Yeah,
Okay, cool.
Thank you for that.
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
We
my job.
appreciate it.
Proclamation pros, and they might come.
Anybody else have anything?
I got stuff.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
You got
Okay.
stuff?
I got some. I'll go in order of. stuff. Okay, June 15th, I'm taking Cal to California. So I will not be in town for
Okay.
the kids, the park event you got going on.
Okay.
I do have a the kids, the
Park and
Main
Play.
Street
Yeah, the
celebration
10 years.
deal.
Yeah.
So, but I was gonna reach out to a couple local kids here in town and see if they wanted to just have us something. And I could just supply them with, we were just gonna do like a swap meet of old junk and just trade it amongst the skate community down there. So I was just gonna reach out if that's cool to do that. I don't know if it needs to be anything more. And then Kirsten
Did
is.
Kristen reach out to you?
I just got she did reach out to me and I
Okay.
talked to her.
Okay.
About doing that. I just got, the last couple of days, I finally confirmed my plans, so make it. So I can talk to her about it.
Yeah.
And just give her a heads up and see if she's cool with that.
Yep.
There's gonna be nothing more, just, come hang out and. So really nothing other than just bringing a group together. So that's cool. With the skate park, the railings look awesome. They look really good. The ramp is, the north side, it's got some pretty good cracks in it.
In the gator
In
skin?
the gator skin,
Okay.
yeah, so our problem spot is still a problem.
Okay.
So, and so it's kind of like two-sided. I wasn't gonna do anything out there this year, I was really hanging out, but I'm getting calls and people want to do stuff.
Oh, yes.
So
Let them do stuff.
yeah, so I can't,
Yes.
I'm not saying no, so
Yeah.
but I was just like keeping it scaled back to a pretty small project. Is there any funds that we could tap into on a smaller,
Yeah, do you have an?
under
potentially, do you have an
$1,000
idea?
kind of a thing?
Yeah, if you have an idea, we wanna, like last time where you gave us just the sketching and the draw
Yeah.
and everything
Yeah, I
like
was doing
that.
that. Yeah, I'm kind of
Present
bringing
that.
back some stuff, so
Yeah.
kind of working that, so I'll get that going.
I mean,
Yeah, just do
good
something
to
small,
know
and
here
then
and-
I was gonna say, have you gotten anywhere with the proposal to put the concrete in that north side spot yet?
Actually, I haven't gone any further than the knowledge that the downtown streets contract for both asphalt and concrete, I believe, is finalized now. So I can reach out either to them or potentially reach out to any of the companies that didn't get the contract. Those are like kind of smaller projects, a
Okay.
medium-sized project.
I
That
was
one.
just looking if you guys made a decision on what you're gonna do
But
there.
I would
yeah.
love to, yeah, I think we're gonna try to just fill all of that
Okay.
in and then bring that. The concrete around the
Just fix up
asphalt
the
to make
area.
sure
Okay.
that it's.
So just making sure that
ADA
was actually gonna
ADA
happen.
compliant, yeah.
So then I'll talk to see what they got, maybe we'll kind of meet the people there, put something in there, go around it, or do something out in the open. And, but with that, we have that wooden box that's out there that's falling apart. Fingers crossed, I would like to get rid of that and replace it with something else. And then maybe take the gator skins off of that and do some patchwork on the ramp. So that's kind of the idea. It's
Yeah.
kind of like a win-win, get rid of some junk, fix some other junk. So. Rooster, but to fix the stuff that's broke, try to fix. the stuff.
Polish it up, right?
Polish it up, yeah, exactly, keep that ramp alive.
Okay.
It's so good, it's been almost 5 years now.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing for the weather outside ramp it's pretty good.
Give a list of the things that you
Okay.
need to do and
I will.
we can tag value to it and
Cool,
see.
cool. Yeah. And then, 4th of July parade. I've been doing some Amazon shopping. And I was gonna see, do we have a PROST budget we could use for decorations and stuff? Or I was thinking like $250, and I thought we could divide it amongst the 7, 5, 6, 2, 3 people we have. So I didn't know.
Fine use of marketing.
I didn't know if there was
Parks and
something we could do
Recreation,
that, so I can
see.
put a Amazon list together. And they got some pretty cool things, banners that, like go around the deal and stuff to hang on the cars and. A couple things to decorate some bikes. You would like to ride a bike, right?
Well, I
You
don't.
ride a bike? I thought someone said ride a bike, but I was gonna get decorations for 2
Aaron.
bikes.
Aaron.
Oh, Aaron? No, he's got
Oh, yeah,
it.
it wasn't me.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's right. So I'm gonna get,
Get a bunch of kids on bikes.
Yeah.
okay, so
Yeah,
I'll get a list
skateboards.
of kind of some stuff. If you guys wanna go on there and send me something you really would like to include,
Okay.
please do that, but. It's been fun shopping for
That's so cool.
4th of July parade decorations and I had no, it's incredible. So. Get that going. And then what kind of stuff does PROST have for, like, we are PROST? Do we have? any-
Banners, yes.
With Parks and Recreation stuff,
Okay,
banners.
all right. And I guess I can swing by and
Prince.
see what you guys got and then kind of try to figure out a plan on how to put it all together.
Print some stuff, says please volunteer. Volunteers needed
Yes.
on the back of the truck.
Coach a 5U soccer team. That's the
Right?
That's the hardest one to get people for, by the way, which is the
Yeah.
easiest one to coach.
Which one?
5U soccer, it's the easiest one. Everyone's like, I don't know soccer. I was like, neither do the kids, okay? They run around in a block, they just chase the ball. It doesn't matter how much you teach them, that's all they're gonna do.
So yeah, that's it. I mean, that's all.
Okay,
Great.
Yay, that's exciting.
doing some things, so yeah, that's very exciting.
I'm digging into history. So as promised, I found a bunch of the annual reports from past parks meetings, so I'll pass those out. I'm looking for more. I'm gonna reach out to a couple of the past board members. For some reason, I just didn't archive them. I didn't save them. So we'll compile all of our past annual reports that we can since the board was formed back in 2014. And then moving forward, we're gonna try to, it'd be really cool if we can write one. Robert, I know you talked about trying to help write one for 2023, maybe kind of following this format. Did we talk about that last meeting?
I think you just got volunteered.
You did now.
Must be misremembered.
I can write it. But you know, just kind of one for starting with 2023, right? It's just a synopsis of here's what we accomplished in that year. So that when we have new PROST members come in, they can look through all these past annual reports, right? It's just front and back. And they can say, oh, this is what got accomplished that year, and we can kind of see where we've been building.
Great idea.
Yeah, no, that was a
I
great
love
idea.
that.
I don't remember volunteering.
I can't, somebody did,
Well,
somebody said they
And
would
we
help.
talked about,
more-
also printing out the presentation that we did
Yeah.
too, and putting it
Yeah,
with the
that-
actual written report,
Yeah.
right?
That's great.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah. So we can put all this together and then this will be part of the binder that we give people, right? I'll give it to you guys digitally so that when we have new people, it can go on their binder. And then spent time today down at the archive at the Discovery Museum, going through, ended up being a Olive Wellington type project, and started finding some park stuff. So I was super excited. So
I love that. Let me know next time we're going. I
it's
love
pretty fun. It's pretty cool.
Did you wear white gloves?
I did.
Oh, that's my favorite
Yeah.
part.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, you have to. They
It's
can
really
look
fun.
to you.
So, I started pulling some park stuff and I will run some copies and email you guys this stuff. It's really cool. It talks about, you know, how far back, even in 2007, when we were talking about the master plan back then for that, year and what their goals were. So I guess what I'm trying to do is, I feel sometimes like we can't always have the best future projections or talk about the future or kind of until we kind of see where we've been and how we cannot make those same mistakes and we can keep moving forward. Some of the stuff they're talking about back in the early 2000s is stuff we're talking about now. Obviously, the population was a lot less. And so hands were kind of tied, but it'd be cool to kind of say, okay, like this is the board where we're going to keep things marching forward, we're going to move forward, we're going to accomplish these things that people talked about 20 years ago. So good times.
Awesome.
That's cool.
Oh, there's one last thing. I hung out with all the municipal leaders in northern Colorado. And Berthoud is the town I'm watching. I just watch them for everything right now because they're the town to watch for us.
Yeah.
They're upgrading their bike park. I don't know if you've seen their bike park.
They're
Look it up.
upgrading it?
They're expanding it. And they're also decided that they're just going to, instead of something for the rec center, they're just gonna go ahead and put an outdoor pool also. So that was what I learned from them last week. And I was like,
Wow.
cool, guys. No, but they're doing great things. So
Okay.
if you guys want to watch somebody similar sides to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Watch Berthoud and see what they're doing. They're doing things differently than us on a lot of fronts. So I think they're a good model for some things. So.
Okay.
But that was cool listening to that. They're like, oh yeah, we're expanding that.
Like 3 million, I think it was, something like that. It's $1 million.
Oh, I've no
Yeah, I mean, that's. Rad.
yeah, it's like all planks and it's oh my gosh, it's so cool.
It's got everything out there pretty much.
Yeah. Nice.
Asphalt, pump track, dirt trails, and wooden ramps.
Mm-hmm.
You can ride on a house.
Hmm.
Or a shed.
Cool.
Yeah.
Love it. I'll have to go see it.
Field trip.
Do we have anything else? Anybody else?
Those dolphins.
Okay,
Oh, I do want to do field
Oh.
trips if we do field trips. I
Field
will
trip
try
is
so
good.
hard to come.
okay.
I haven't been able to do it.
I think we're good to adjourn.
Barrett have anything?
Oh,
Yeah, forget
Aaron?
about me. No, I'm good. I've got.
I'm sorry, Aaron, that was rude.
That's okay. Sorry I couldn't be there in person today. I had a last minute. I had to be in Phoenix, so I'm sorry.
No worries. Thanks for
Nope.
calling
Thanks
in.
for
man.
calling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see you at the next meeting or the planning.
Yeah,
Yep.
the planning
Yep.
meeting.
Joe the
good.
feet.
Thanks, Aaron.
Thank you.
All good.
To adjourn.
Adjourn.
Donna, just wanna hand these to you.
Okay.